Her heart pounded in her chest. Rosie couldn't have got far, could she? Surely no harm could come to her. "Wait!" Mrs. Moore caught up with her, puffing as she went. "I'll take my parasol from you, and you take Rosie's lead." If only Mrs. Moore hadn't sent me back to the hotel for her parasol, thought Lottie, none of this would have happened. What made her run off? She asked her employer as they marched towards the Louvre. "I don't know. We've just been cooped up on an overnight train, haven't we? I expect she's relieved to be out in the fresh air again." Lottie and Mrs. Moore had arrived that morning from Venice, with an unscheduled stop in Milan. Their arrival had been filled with excitement as they'd explored the elegant hotel and ventured out for an afternoon walk in the sun. But now Lottie's stomach felt tied up in knots as she worried about Rosie, lost in a strange city. "Slow down a bit," said Mrs. Moore. "I can't keep up. I've only got little legs." Lottie waited for her employer to join her. Mrs. Moore wasn't wearing the most suitable clothes to move quickly in, a long burgundy skirt, a high-collared blouse, and a woolen burgundy overcoat and fur stole. Her fashion tastes belonged to the Edwardian age, and she was quite content with that. Lottie wore her simple travelling clothes, a pleated skirt, cotton blouse, and a light overcoat. She hadn't owned Rosie for long. She'd adopted her in Venice after the dog lost her previous owner. They'd got on well during their short time together, and Rosie had never run away before. So why had she done it now? They reached a circular pond where water gushed soothingly from a fountain in the centre. People sat on chairs and read newspapers, dozed and chatted. A man was painting the scene on an easel. Lottie would have stopped to admire the picture if she hadn't been worrying about Rosie. She was light-headed with worry, and her mouth felt dry. "I can't see her in the water," said Mrs. Moore, peering at the pond through her lorgnette. "Does she like to swim?" "I don't know. Should we go left, right, or straight on? Which way do you think she went?" "I really don't know, but don't worry, Lottie. I'm sure she's fine. She'll just be enjoying a frolic somewhere." Lottie took a deep breath. Her employer was probably right, but it was difficult to feel reassured. They turned left and continued along a path flanked by boxed shrubs and statues. "There's a lamp-post," said Mrs. Moore, pointing at an ornate example which was painted shiny black. "Dogs like lamp-posts, don't they? She could be sniffing around one of those." "Let's keep looking," said Lottie.